I want to welcome everybody to Mike's Minute this morning. We've got our guest picker, Steve Arrowsmith, with us today. Of course, Mike Russell, our host. And as we call this around my place, it's not Mike's Minute. It's let's get the bad news out of the way. John. Mike.
Well, actually, I think you're going to be happy.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, folks, the Thanksgiving week massacre was was quite a
Oh,
thing. But so I've come up with the four gunslingers that obviously did well in the shootout, and they were let's see, Jerry Boulay and Stephen Lawless, Stuart McHone, and John Karam.
all right.
Yeah, and going right back to Marty Robbins, the big iron winner was Jerry Boulay. So he did well at 132, and then Stephen Lawless 135, Stewart was 136, and John 140. And after that, it was 144, 149, and just kept going sky high. So
What is with Philadelphia?
there
What's
you
going
go. Now, in terms of the overall standings, I'm still hanging in there at 1743. Right behind is Big Iron, Jerry Boulay at 1756, and Mike Curry 1764, and Richard Pomelo at 1764. So it's a tight race there.
on?
So yeah, it was quite the weekend, and yeah, but there's always four people that seem to figure it out and hammer it in. So
Uh, I took a chance. The only guess I made right was the New York Jets game. I figured they were due for an upset. And I got the Miami game. I was reluctant to pick Miami by 3, and I was almost right in my reluctance, but they managed to hang on.
yeah,
But other than that, like it was like Philadelphia. How does that happen? Like
I, well, and the Vikings,
and the Vikings. Well, the Vikings are done.
not even a point. Like that's
That's,
scandalous.
that's
They need a quarterback.
Yeah, they definitely do.
That was a revenge game. Darnold coming back to Minnesota and said, "Hey, you traded me.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
you traded me."
yeah.
I mean, you'd think
And
the Vikings would have some sort of incentive to play a little better, but no,
yeah,
no.
you would think so, but yeah, no, it was a rough weekend for a lot of teams. It's teams that should be doing well, but we're getting close. And just to remind everybody, in week 17, I think it's or week 16, whichever one is has the Christmas on the Thursday.
Okay.
There's 4 games on Christmas Day.
Oh my God.
Uh, and then there is, I forget how many on Sunday, but there's a ton of them on Monday. I think it's like 5 games on Monday. So the way I'm going to work it for that weekend only is, you have to have your picks in for Thursday, then you got to have your picks in at the start of the first game on Sunday, and then you have to have your picks in on Monday before the first game.
Wow, that's strange, eh? Like 5 games on the Monday. Wow.
It's yeah, and they may change it. I know week 18 they're still playing around with it, but I've got that week 17 set up already, and I think that's the weekend. But anyways, it's whenever Christmas is. Yeah, it's on a Thursday. Whatever week that is, that's when, like I said, there's a ton of games on Monday. So
Well, let's take a look at this week's games here.
sure, yeah,
Let's see now, NFL schedule. Here we go. And we have about 5 games I want to comment on, Steve.
sure.
But the first one, again, who is Detroit? What's going on with that team? They were world beaters last year. They started out the season, they looked like they were going to go undefeated, and now it's painful to watch. Dallas, on the other hand, they're coming on strong.
Yeah.
What got that game there, Steve?
Well, it's a tough call, John. I look at that game as a season-ending game for one team in terms of how they play it out. I think Dallas is rolling right now, and I'd be tempted to pick Dallas, even though the game's in Detroit.
Yeah, and
I
Detroit's
think
favored by
Detroit is
3.
just up and down and doesn't have any momentum.
Yeah, and they're favored by 3.
Yeah, yep.
They're at home. Usually, Detroit at home is like impossible to beat them.
Well, I agree with you,
But
Yeah,
but
but I would agree. It's the Lions have been struggling of late, and the Cowboys, as Steven said, seem to be coming on. They've won 3 games in a row. They seem to be working well. Their defense is going good. So
their
I
defense is great.
yeah, so I would be taking them something by 4 points.
okay,
Yeah,
so the Lions by 4.
Lions by 4. Yeah.
Okay,
No, Cowboys by
won't
4.
help me catch
Cowboys
up
by
to you,
4.
Mike, but
Cowboys by 4. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's pretty big. That's a huge upset because, as I said, Detroit, even when they weren't good, were always good at home. And I just don't know who they are this year. Indianapolis and Jacksonville. Who knew that these are two top teams in the AFC? Indianapolis kind of struggling a little bit of late.
well,
Jacksonville
I think they got.
big week last
I think they got burned this weekend. I think that one call when the clock was at 0,
Okay,
that killed them.
I didn't see that, Steve. Though they
So they were on defense. The clock went to 0, but the play was made against them, and then they got called for pass interference, even though the play should have been called dead, in my opinion.
geez.
And I think that was in the fourth quarter, and it just turned the game over.
Yeah.
It was kind of like just psychologically, it was really not nice.
Yeah. Well, they have to rebound from that. They're playing Jacksonville, who looked really good last week. Jacksonville's a funny team, eh? They'll come out, look like world beaters one week, and then the next week they just stink. Who are these guys? Are they coming on now? Is this the team that's going to take them to the path of the Super Bowl? And Indianapolis has been strong all year, but they've been faltering as late. Steve, who you got in that one?
Who do I have?
Yeah.
I actually like the Jags at home. Only by a couple of points, but I like them at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indianapolis favored by 1.5. So
yeah, they are.
Yeah, but again, the Colts have lost 2 in a row. The Jags have won 3 in a row, and like Steven says, they're at home. So I'd take the Jags by 3 on that one.
Okay. Well, that's two bets that are very, very close. And there's another game here, and I think this is the loser of this next game is out of the playoffs. It's Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
That's a huge game.
Yeah.
Both struggling quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. Lamar can't run, and it's just changed the offense of that team 180 degrees. And Pittsburgh, I don't know what's going on with them. I have no clue.
They were terrible on Sunday.
What do you?
I mean, the Ravens are favored by 6.5.
Yeah.
That's a big line.
Yeah, I got 5.5 this morning. So
okay, it's gone down a bit. Okay,
got down a bit.
Yeah.
So
I kind of think it's the Ravens to lose. So I would probably go Ravens by 1 or 2.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
So Ravens will hang on by 3 points here.
Basically, that's what I think. It's a home game for the Ravens. It's kind of a statement game. We either turning it around or we're out.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's going nowhere. Doesn't matter whether they win or lose. They're not going to make it. They're not that good.
Well, that brings into question, is Mike Tomlin going to be their coach next year? So if he loses this with Aaron Rodgers, this was their Super Bowl run. They put together the team here to go all the way. So
I don't see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they were talking about at the beginning of the year. So
That's a tough game. As Steven has said, Ravens are at home. You've mentioned both quarterbacks are struggling. Rodgers has had his ups and downs, and really he's playing like I think 41-year-old, is he, or 40?
Yeah, he's playing like a 41-year-old.
Yeah, and Lamar, he can't. He's not as mobile as he should be. So it would depend on how strong if the Steelers defense come to play. But I agree with both of you. I think is that you know, the Ravens probably have the edge in this. They're at home. They're a better team in the long run. Well, anyways, so
I'd agree with that. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that's true. Hey, this is going to be another great game. Chicago, Green Bay. Again, statement game for one of these teams. Chicago looked like they're on a Super Bowl run. Their running game was fantastic last week. Looked unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable. And that's what you need in the cold weather. So you got Chicago and Green Bay. You got Green Bay favored by 7,
It's down to 5.5.
5.5 now. Okay.
okay.
Well, what do you got, Steve?
Oh, I got Green Bay. That's, got to go with your team, John. Unlike you, my team plays, I pick them. I don't just look at them and go, oh, that's my team, but I'm not picking them. Just saying.
Well, I'm not picking Miami this week, that's for sure. They looked awful, and New York looks really good, but that's another story. So
I like Green Bay.
Chicago played really well last week, Steve. They were running the ball like crazy.
Yeah, and Chicago has won 5 in a row, which is pretty good in any league. And now the Packers have 3 wins in a row, and they're at home. I think it's going to be a close game, but yeah, I would go with the Packers by 2 or 3. So
Yep.
I diverge.
Field goal.
I think Chicago's going to win this game. If they control the line of scrimmage like they did last week, I can't see too many teams in the NFC beating them. They were just so powerful running that ball and controlling the game. I think it's going to be very close because when you run the ball, you take time off the clock, and so the game shortens. But I think Chicago's going to squeak one out in Green Bay.
I think the Packers have a pretty good rushing team, so I think they have a good chance of coming out even on the whole line game.
We got 2 more games to talk about.
Sure.
Houston and Kansas City. Now, for Kansas City, this is an absolute must-win, or they're gone. I think. I don't know about you guys.
Well, they're outside looking in right now. So I think I agree with you. I just don't know if they have the horses. And the Texans arguably have the best defense in the NFL.
absolutely.
So whether the Texans offense is good enough to the job, I'm not sure. But I'm going to have to give this game a fair bit of thought before I make my little tick mark.
Yeah, because Houston's lacking a quarterback right now, right? Is it Davis Mills that's running the team right now?
And not necessarily. He may not be this weekend. They may bring their number 1 guy back.
Yeah, but Mills won last week as well.
Yeah,
and
he did.
they've got 4 wins in a row. And like Stephen says, number 1 defense, and with the Chiefs, they start putting pressure on the quarterback. I think it's gonna be the Texans on this one. And I'll take them by 3.
Yeah, I like that number.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've the line is Kansas City by 3.5. So, I hate to bet against Kansas City, especially when their backs are against the wall. So I'm gonna say that Kansas City will hang on this one, but I'm very leery about that bet.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be an interesting game, John.
It is going to be interesting. We'll see how they come out, and but they've got to set, and they don't seem to have a complete offense. It's just Patrick Mahomes running around finding Kelsey somewhere, and that gets old pretty quick with defense. So, okay, the final game of the weekend, which is going to be another good game. Philadelphia, who I don't know who they are anymore, and Los Angeles, who lost for the first time in a while last week to the Panthers, of all teams. These are I'm talking about the Chargers here. Yeah, there's not the Rams.
Yeah, it's the Chargers.
Chargers. So again, still a good game. Philadelphia, Los Angeles. You've got Philly up by favored by 3 or 2.5. What do you got?
Philly is not a team I particularly like. I think our friend Jim phrased it well in a conversation a while back when they said they don't have a quarterback. They have a running back.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree with him on that.
Well,
And
more than that, Steve. I don't know if you heard this. They had a team meeting after their losses last weekend. They didn't invite Jalen Hurts to that meeting.
really,
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Hurts
did
was
not
not
hear
in
that.
that meeting, which really says a lot. There's a problem there with between the quarterback. There's a disconnect between the quarterback and the team. So
Yeah.
something is going on there. Whether they can right that ship, they probably I hope they can for their sake. But there is something going on in that dressing room. I'm not sure what it is.
The problem with the game, in my mind, isn't the Eagles' offense. It's their defense is pretty good. And the Chargers, I'm never convinced that they're that strong. They're kind of one of those just below the top teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can play well, but whether they can handle the Philly defense, I'm not sure.
Well,
Well,
But I
and,
think I'd go home team.
yeah.
and the other key thing there, Steve, is that Herbert with the Chargers is day to day.
Okay, that's important.
And so if he's playing, I think they have a decent chance. I think if he's not playing, I would go with the Eagles, on that one. But yeah, it's one of those games that you really need to know if Herbert's in the game or not. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That'll make a huge difference.
Before you make your pick this week, folks, check check to see if Heber is going to play this week, and because you're right, that would be huge difference if he's not. He was out of the game for a little while, but he came back in last week, so
yeah,
he'll be.
well, he had surgery on his hand,
It's his
and
non-throwing hand, though.
yeah, exactly. But we'll see what happens. They're still calling him day to day, so
Yeah.
you know.
They are.
Wow. Okay.
And that Commanders and Vikings game is actually uh, going to be an interesting one, simply because two teams going nowhere's struggling badly
Yeah.
are going to be going against other. I'd hate to see a 0-0 game.
Yeah. Well, the Vikings certainly made a bad move in getting rid of Sam Darnold and keeping J.J. McCarthy. They should have kept Darnold around for a while till they
Oh,
had something proven in McCarthy. McCarthy didn't prove anything. He played one game last year and wasn't
yeah,
even in that game. So like they made a big mistake, and their offense is going nowhere until they get a quarterback. Surprised that their defense has even let them down this year. So,
yeah, exactly. So
Too much field time. They get tired.
yeah.
yeah,
That's Hey, gentlemen, this was really great. Thank you very much, everybody. There's no early game Sunday. This is a regular week, right?
yes, exactly. So make sure you have your picks in on Thursday. And I know we had 3 games this last week, and unfortunately, a couple of people missed out on getting their picks in. If you are overseas, and I know one of the guys was overseas or whatever, but you can text me at 613-297-4366 and just say, Mike, I'm taking this one. Or let me know you're traveling, as some people have, and I'll send you off the pick sheet for the week so you can be looking at it and either send it in or again text me and let me know. So
Okay, that's great. So next week I'm in St. Petersburg. I'm actually traveling to Florida on Thursday, but you'll get my pick Wednesday for the Thursday game. And everybody, good luck this week. It's another wild week. A lot of close games. You really got to keep your eye to the injury reports to see who's playing, who's not, and just toss a coin for some of these games because they're
yeah,
all,
but there will be 4 gunslingers next week as well.
yeah, there will be. Until next week, good luck to everybody.
Okay.